It's like you can see it being true. Right?
That's very that's very funny. Yes.
Lovely evening to you, Dennis.
Hello. Yes, indeed. It's good to be here.
It's good. It's good to be anywhere, really.
The latest news report. This is Jeff Daniels reporting from WBCD or radio. Donald Trump has just been arrested for shooting a man on Fifth Avenue. He was caught doing it dressed in nothing but a diaper and was screaming, "No quid pro, no quid pro." We don't know any further details, but it's widely believed that he will not be prosecuted as he is immune. He is above the law.
Our condolences go out to the family of the victim.
That would be every American.
Yes, well,
that would be. I don't know, what is it? 900 million people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Effectively shot at point blank range by his ego. Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
There it is. There it is. There it's before you. So I watched a clip I wanted to talk to you about. Dana Carvey in a bit on Conan O'Brien, where some years ago, where he comes out and he makes up a song on the spot, like a hillbilly song, and gets the three of them dancing all over the stage. Conan O'Brien at one point is standing up on his desk, and it is a perpetual motion of just frantic, spot-on impersonations of folks that is so funny. And I thought of you when I saw the clip, because data related and your fondness for things arcane, and that in his TV show that was canceled, he followed a show that had 12 million viewers and Home Improvement. And you can see in real time now, every second, how many viewers you have. And so when you're looking at segmentation, he opened up with all these viewers, and his bit was that he was Bill Clinton, but he was breastfeeding a dog, and he ended up with 6 tits. And he went from 12 million viewers to not only 0 viewers, but 7.5 million phone calls against him. This is for the data geek. This is something to behold. And somebody, because he says, so why was it canceled? And he says, well, I'll just give you an illustration. And then they show the various still photos of
the chart. Yeah.
The teats. At one point, 6 puppies nursing from Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
It was like, oh God, what were you thinking? He said, yeah, it was a little offbeat.
A little, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so fun.
Well, thank God we don't have real-time podcast metrics.
Thank God for your edits.
Yes. Well, yes. To those of you listening to this, those 4 of you, so much of what Dennis says has to be cut out. It's all just so vile. And I'm just giving you the creme de la creme of his wit, which is
so now. What are you, French? Are you French? I cannot sit at your shower, and I think you must be French.
Le creme de la creme, s'il vous plaît.
Well, I hear your French people do not shit where you wash your hands. It's despicable.
Tis true. Yes. But.
So this is why Uruguayans like it. They don't like the French either. I'm not saying I don't like them. The one French guy I know, I love him like a brother. He's in Switzerland right now. He's a concierge at a hotel in Switzerland. You should look him up.
Well, that's a
training around Europe.
That's a good French job.
As you do.
Concierge.
What job?
A French job.
A French job.
Concierge or sommelier or
Sommelier. That's particularly helpful if you're going on a Rodriguez.
Yes, that's very interesting, the way you do the lisp.
Oh, Lord. So did you send me the picture of the fish with a human face?
I did. Did you watch that video?
I don't believe it. I believe it's a doctored video. I loved it, but in this day and age, I can't believe it. There's no reason to believe it.
Good.
So, and guess where I learned that from? Oh, we're drinking a little red wine this evening.
Ah, yeah. Oui, monsieur. Le vin rouge.
Soholier, a Baton Rouge.
Yes, I'm drinking a red stick. Yes.
Red stick. Well, howdy. Is that sort of like Mad Dog? It looks like it. You put it in a fancy glass, you don't fill me.
I could go for a red stick right about now.
Red stick. I bet you'd probably put it up your nose or other places unspeakable.
Well, you have to say those words in French. Yeah. You were just talking about not believing videos, and my 10-year-old daughter is really interested in a TV show now. It's on the Disney Channel where it's in Spanish. I think it's from Argentina, where most of the Disney Spanish language stuff is created. But she was telling me that it's sort of this teen drama, but there's all these different layers of music and dance and the internet, and how as teens in present day they are interacting on the internet, and how there are influencers, which is a word that didn't exist 5 years ago, but now you've got your people that have so many followers that when they sneeze and they wipe their nose with a particular kind of rag, then everyone wants that rag, that sort of thing. And she was telling me that
there's a song in there somewhere, isn't there?
There's
a song in there, right? What you said. Repeat it so we don't forget it, and we'll go back to your story. But what was the phrase you just used?
When you sneeze and you wipe your nose with the rag.
A rag.
A rag. A snot rag.
Whatever rag they use.
Everyone wants
the teens will then abuse.
Have you seen the new snot rag? It was wiped by
Benny and the Jets.
A Kardashian nose.
Benny and the Jets. Have you seen the new snot rag? There you go. Go on, bro. Go.
Yes.
Go, Eric. Go. Yes, so go.
So much snot.
Go.
I got to sneeze. What's that breeze?
Oh my God! Thank God.
Could I have some cheese?
Cut it all out.
Yeah.
Sure. What are you drinking? Red Mad Dog type wine?
Yes.
In a fancy glass to make believe that it's somehow it's a chic. I drink a chic wine. No, it's a Mad Dog.
Yes. In French we call it Le Mad Dog.
Le Mad Dog. So down in New Orleans, back in the day, I have an iconic photo of my brother. And my brother Joe, my older brother, is on a cane this evening, and he's bedraggled, and it's a misty, rainy, warm evening in New Orleans.
Wait.
At the
on a cane? What does that mean?
On a cane. He's using a cane because he's got a hurt leg.
Okay.
C-A-N-E.
Okay. This
is a common, just a background. This is a common thing.
I didn't know if he was like high on sugarcane or something. Okay, continue.
No. But now you have it. So there he is, sitting in a doorway in the French Quarter, New Orleans, during Mardi Gras on a rainy evening, probably 2 or 3 in the morning, bedraggled and wet, sitting on the pavement underneath an awning where there's a doorway. His legs are splayed, and in front of him he has a pile of food that is in a large cardboard, colorful red and white cardboard container, and he's holding up an ear of corn. And the look on his face is just ecstatic, and it is both. It is iconic, and so this is the tribute to him. I propose a toast to what year? 1998 Mardi Gras. JoJo, to you.
To eating 3 a.m. corn, because everything's better at 3 a.m.
Nothing good happens after midnight. And if it's after 3 a.m., it can only get worse.
That is very profound.
Profundity.
Yes. So, back to my story before you derailed me.
Derailed. Don't be so aggressive.
I was on a rail.
Don't be so aggressive with me. This has to flow a bit.
Okay, well,
this has to flow. You spark because you are.
No, you spark.
You are a young spark plug of a young man. So when you say things, sometimes it just sparks in me a story, a vignette,
an anecdote. Yes,
an anecdote, perhaps a clever story, but perhaps not. But always, because you are centered. You are centered. You are, in fact, centered. You get back to your story, as you will do.
Now that I'm centered. Okay. Okay. Blues riff goes here, and now we're back to the story. So my daughter's watching this TV show about I don't know if it's Instagram, but it's internet video posting and stuff. And part of the plot of the thing is that people are creating videos that are fake videos. They're taking clips where someone is saying, "Oh, I think Dennis is great," and then another video where someone says Brussels sprouts are the worst, and editing it together so that the person looks like they're saying, "I think Dennis is the worst." And
that's not very nice.
Right, exactly. But what I love about this is that it's
what's happened to me my whole career, actually.
Well, yes. And I do love Brussels sprouts.
Do you?
Yes. But
crispy.
You can't,
with a nice vinaigrette.
You can't cook them too long. A little bit of garlic, a little bit of olive oil.
Short of burnt, thank you.
Yes. Well, I like most things short of burnt. But it's this idea that her generation especially needs to learn is that things that you see online, video that you see, cannot be trusted as being truth, because
anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Anymore.
Previously, it was photos. That's before the photos of the Vietnam War were very mind opening to a lot of people, but they weren't doctored. But now you get photos that, because any old schmuck like me can Photoshop, 3 heads onto your shoulders.
How about the Irishman and the Scorsese use of digital mastery, de-aging them in a multi-million-dollar extravaganza of modern technology, which, in fact, as De Niro said, this just added 10 years to my acting career. In the diversification,
because
now,
he's going to be able to act when he's 85 with a screen presence of 50 or whatever.
So the marvelous common strain of an old person looking back and thinking back about their younger days of perhaps disrepute or success and failure or whatever. But when you start with an old person who's actually old and you de-age, it's a whole lot fucking better than starting with them young and fucking aging them through fucking makeup and some anime type nonsense. So it's I think it's an incredibly remarkable opportunity. I haven't seen it yet, but because you and I have looked at and talked about these types of imagery techniques that they can use to manipulate things. It's just incredible. It's nuts.
Well, there is some brand new news this week. Breaking news.
Do it like a newscaster, man. Listen.
This just in from the offices of the News Report. James Dean is coming back from the dead to appear in a new movie, a Hollywood production, the company said on Wednesday, causing an uproar about the idea of reincarnating one of America's most beloved film icons. So that's pretty messed up. And this whole, one beef I have with Hollywood is that they just keep recycling the same shit over and over and over again. They know something, once they get a formula that works and makes money, they just repeat and repeat and repeat. See all of the Marvel universe, as well as Disney, which is currently systematically going through every single one of their fucking movies and redoing it as live action rather than animation. And there's a great list on Wikipedia that I'll put in the show notes of all the Disney movies that are being remade. But it's so...
Like Aladdin.
There are so many. Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King.
Have you seen Aladdin?
So many. I have not.
Would that be for you and your kids to go see?
I don't know. I don't think they've seen the original. So, yeah.
All the better.
Maybe. All the better, yeah. So,
well, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think so. I mean,
but anyway,
they don't have a standard to...
Right. But anyway, it's this idea that, yeah, we'll just make movies with the 20 famous faces that we have already. Like, in 100 years, are we going to be seeing someone acting through the face of George Clooney just because he was famous once upon a time? I don't know. It seems kind of messed up to me.
Digitizing the complete character.
Yeah.
The complete...
Right. And
manipulating it to move and speak in the script of the film, or it's a real person that's digitized.
What I imagine it's going to be at this point in our level of technology is it's going to be a person with those little dot sensors on their face acting
live digitation.
Right. But like we're getting so close. Like in the future, it's going to be pretty easy for a computer algorithm to just like create movies for us with the faces that we know and
love.
And
sell tickets like
right.
George Clooney.
Right. Who's
amazing, versatile actor. Amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
But right, when he's putting... One would like to say that he has a... let me take a sip of my wine. A je ne sais quoi about his acting soul that comes through or whatever. But...
Whoa. Whoa.
Hold on. Let me...
Hey.
Let me suck on my pipe for a moment.
I want what you just said to be in the subtitle of this episode. And I want it written in whatever fucking language you were talking. Just very, very. I don't know. I like want to think of that as very chic. Yes. I think you should go with that, man. I think you should be wearing scarves when we record, berets. I think you should roll. You should flow. You should go for it.
Oh, scarf.
Go for it.
Yeah. So they. Have you seen they did a little short film where the screenplay was entirely generated from a computer? Have you heard of this?
No.
It was the protagonist of the HBO series Silicon Valley was in it. It was sort of this sci-fi thing, and sometimes they're almost making sense, but sometimes they say things not so much do so, and it sort of goes. There's this sort of uncanny. Again, I don't know if you remember the term I introduced you to of uncanny valley, of this bizarreness where computers try and approximate humanity and just totally faceplant into this valley of bizarreness. But anyway, it also, side note, there already is algorithmically generated animated content. So you have a young granddaughter, and if you ever end up leaning on the crutch that is just watch whatever the hell you want to watch on YouTube with that child, you're going to run into there's this whole dark side of YouTube. There's a great article about this that I will put in the show notes at happyhour.fm/031, where it's they take like somewhere there is some company that is generating like 100 20-minute videos every day, clearly using some algorithm of just sort of pasting together ideas and characters and animations such that it looks to parents like, oh, that's just some dopey ass TV thing for kids where the character's walking around and saying the most simple things. But there's this whole underbelly of YouTube where someone is using computers to generate these videos that are humans haven't created and then publish them. And I don't know. It's very bizarre, and it sort of hints at where even our most creative jobs might go to in the future. And I'm done.
Have you been taking your medication? So with everything you just said,
let's talk about something happy.
All I could picture was your bedroom where 3 walls are all photos with strings attached, with some bizarre center point.
Yes.
That somehow has you there and Trump and I don't know who else.
Elon Musk is there.
And you.
And Zuckerberg.
Look, you look.
So
I want you to get some help.
Did you know there's?
Do they offer help in Spain? Do you go somewhere and you say, "Cómo está?"
Local.
Local. And they help you.
So did you know there's a term for that movie trope? It's called the crazy wall. Where everywhere on movies and TV shows you see that that wall with the pictures posted and with the red yarn connecting stuff. There's a website called crazywalls.tumblr.com that I will link to in the show notes. That is a collection of these things when they appear in popular media.
Wow. And
so yeah, even I have a crazy wall yarn thing to crazy walls. So that's pretty fucking meta.
That sounds like a new app you could conjure up. We could make money off that. We advertise and we say, look, all we need to do is record you for 15 minutes, and you say whatever comes to mind about what you think is the meaning of life and your role in the universe.
Sounds like podcasting.
Just explain it.
Yep.
Let's explain it, and then what is created is the posted notes and the pictures and the connected yarn. How many colors? Well, you pay for levels. You want just gray yarn, it's a price. You want 2 colors, you want 3, 5. You could go
good
as many as you want.
We should post these ideas on a wall and connect them somehow.
That would be, and I capitalize this, proof of concept.
Whoa,
right there.
The concept is proved, man.
POC.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, smartass.
Fuck you, man.
Talk for a while about your place in the universe and how you think everything is aligned.
Well.
And I'll organize the post-it notes.
First of all, this is a glimpse, and in that brief glimpse, we have a reality.
What is a glimpse? Life?
Questions. Please hold your questions for later.
All right, I'll start. I've got some post-it notes here.
Do you have index cards in front of you? I'll bet you do. You're such a fucking nerd. Do you have index cards and a .05 mechanical pencil that you can take some notes?
Yes. Can I use my laser pointer later? Okay. Continue. Sorry.
Whoa.
This is just a glimpse. Continue.
Glimpse.
You're a glimpse. Oh, sorry.
Glimpse. GLYMPSE. Glimpse. I understand that's the name of one of your children.
Well, Glimpse with a Y would be a great name for our app.
Yes. So I think that's good. You start with the name. If you like the name, then you work backwards from that into the app itself.
Oh no, you have no idea. I have built so many things where I cannot continue building the thing until I have the name.
Right.
And often the domain name, as the case may be. But okay, continue. What is your explain the universe from your vantage point?
So, there's a lot of planets, and they revolve around the sun, and then beyond that, there's more, and it's more and more and more, and somehow, inexplicably, we're a part of that in the sense that future, history, everything
Okay.
is interconnected in those planets, shooting stars, Jupiter and its rings. I used to live on one of those rings.
Did
in
you?
a cave on the side of the mountain.
A ring cave.
What's that? A ring cave.
You used to live in a Jovian ring cave?
Jovian. My, oh my. Hello. Thank you for joining the BBC. We have today an interview with Rhodes Scholar Ack. Mr. X, could you please explain your theory of the university terms for our listening audience?
Well, my friend Dennis is a Jovian ring caveman who grew up there and has since migrated to our little blue speck in the world. Yeah, so planets are important, I think, in the general scheme of things. I will go with you there. Shooting stars,
How would you explain the phenomena of the wormhole? And is it true, it's been reported, that the last time a reporter asked you this, that you had an erection?
Well, for sure, anytime I'm talking about wormholes, there's going to be that response. Wormholes are... I mean, look, the only thing worse than biting into an apple and finding a worm is biting into an apple and finding half a worm, right? So, wormholes, in general, are just let the worms go where they want, man.
Is it true or not true? Have you ever been in close proximity to a wormhole and had your hand on its arse?
This is a podcast and you have to speak.
No, I don't. I'm just laughing. You're very funny. You're very funny. So tell me.
Yes.
I'm curious. Update us all 37 of us now, with the latest statistics, and a good number of them from Uruguay. Our friends in Uruguay, we can only say, mi casa es su casa.
Yes. Mi podcast es su podcast. Yeah.
Mi casa es su podcast.
El podcasto. Yes. Anyway,
Podcasto.
continue with your sentence before you derailed yourself there.
Sorry. Nope, gone. Woo! Whoop.
Okay.
Wait.
Well, that went off into the stars. I've got some content to discuss with you. I was recently on a long flight, and I saw some movies on the flight. As I previously mentioned in the last episode,
Previous podcast, which can be found at
previously on happyhour.fm, I mentioned that I had seen Rocketman, and I won't rehash that here. You should go to happyhour.fm/030 to hear about that. But I also did I talk about yesterday?
the song.
No, the movie. No, I spoke about this to other people. Have you heard about the movie yesterday?
The guy wakes up and nobody knows that the Beatles ever existed.
Yes, it's
Yes.
a.
We've actually talked about that.
Okay, good. Well, in that case, maybe we shouldn't talk about it again.
Well, but like everything we talk about, neither one of us can remember what we said. So
Luckily, I'm going to edit the previous episode before I edit this
it's
one.
not like anybody who's listening to this bullshit gives a crap whether we repeat ourselves a bit. It is, after all, happy hour. If I sit and drink with my brother, he'll tell me a story that I've heard 30 or 40 times. And he always tells it exactly the same way. And it's very fresh. And I love to hear the stories, but I know them all. Sometimes I ruin it with a punchline, and I tell him the end of the story. And he looks at me and he says, "Oh, you know that one?" And it's like, I don't know, man. I'm not counting or anything, but it's 16, 18 times. I mean, you know, and I could actually tell him the story, but he's so animated. It's just wonderful to hear him. And he's such a colorful dude. You know, we're sitting in this bar near the Salmon River after one of our fishing trips, and we didn't fish as long as some of the other brothers did, and so we found ourselves in a bar drinking a couple of beers. And he had just come off the river, and he had this colorful scarf around his neck, and unshaven with a Australian shark hat that you can find in the show notes. That is a beautiful Australian hat for all weather that I loaned him and ended up giving him as a gift. And so as he's telling these stories that I've heard so many times before, I just lean back in my bar stool against the wall and listen to them all again.
Yeah.
but with this image of him in this bar seared in my brain.
Yeah, it's nice to, like, there's a reason that especially young children will watch the same episode of TV or the same movie over and over and over again, because we like that known quantity that we're going to be receiving in entertainment, which is why I think people tune into this bullshit to hear your zipper.
That wasn't a zipper.
Okay.
Okay.
Zip your pants back up.
I'll do the... It's not... That's awful. You would suggest that, but listen, I'm going to give you the beat with the zipper, and you make up the song. Go.
Yeah.
Go. Sing it, bro.
This is a song about Dennis's pants.
No.
Dennis is so fly. His fly is open.
Oh Lord, you're a character.
That's not our term, our art point.
Art. Yes, this is absolutely art. So what's the story about this guy who takes a toilet out of his bathroom and signs it and then puts it in a museum, and now it's renowned as one of the most important pieces of artwork of the frickin' century? You know about this?
No. This is so much of modern art. I went to a modern art exhibition recently, 2 years ago. That was by a prominent person you might have heard of named Yoko Ono. And just modern art is just such nonsense. It's like, look, here's a pile of trash, but it's in an art museum, so let's all examine what it means about our, excesses or whatever the fuck. It's, I don't know. That's sort of art.
They want you to become the trash. They want you to become the trash.
Yeah, well, I don't want to.
You need to.
Baby.
Oh my God. Are you allergic to this story? You brought it up. Oh, yes. Marvelous. Don't you dare cut that.
I'm allergic.
Hey, I want you to do this. Do a sound thing where you do that and it turns into the freaking roar of an elephant.
We can auto-tune it. Yes.
It will be cool. Look at the show notes at blah blah blah
blah blah blah
blah.
Dennis doesn't know shit.fm. Yeah.
At gmail.com.
Yeah. So modern art is I don't get it.
You know why?
Whatever.
You are a Neanderthal. You are with that enlarged forehead and your ever receding hairline, only marred by the discomfiting view of the ankle and foot that grows out of your forehead.
Yes.
Besides that, you are aging. Speaking of aging, hey, show notes. Show the John Lennon aging video that just came out. And it's fascinating because they turned it into a 3-minute thing. And the graphics, you will love them. And you're probably as patient or more patient than I am to look at something like this. But it was way cool.
Yeah, they've done. Well, one of the interesting things about the Yesterday movie was how John Lennon was a character, because in that universe where the Beatles didn't happen, John Lennon grew old like a regular dude, and they had an actor playing John Lennon in his 70s, and it was just perfect. It was so perfect. Like it.
Really? I haven't seen that movie, and I don't think it had a big theatrical footprint.
It's not a great movie. It's kind of contrived.
But you know what other movies this screenwriter and director has done, right?
No.
The Hugh Grant and what is it? What's her name? Oh God.
Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Notting Hill.
Where yes, same screenwriter.
Director Danny Boyle.
Screenwriter.
Trainspotting. Holy shit. Screenwriter. Richard Curtis. Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean.
What a fucking character. So Mr. Bean is because there's so little dialogue in Mr. Bean. It was able to be spread around the world without having to do any translations or overdubbing or anything, because most of his stuff is just like and it's sort of it's totally implied by the physicality of his acting what is happening. But apparently Mr. Bean is really famous across all of Asia and Africa, and
no kidding.
Just in this way that
let's join the fan club.
I've always liked Mr. Bean. It's a particular kind of sort of silly asshole potty humor, because
I've never seen it.
Really? Mr. Bean he's not a nice person, but he's also not a smart person.
Oh, I know the character.
Yeah.
Because that character of his is not in the movies he's been in, many, many movies, he's the same character as he is in Mr. Bean.
A lot of it, yeah.
Right. And he's very funny, man. He is a very funny man.
Rowan Atkinson, yes.
Yes,
and he has some really great stand-up routines on YouTube that people can look for.
Oh, put him in the show notes.
I will definitely. And the British know him from a TV show called Black Adder, that where it's sort of this sort of Renaissance-y period, sort of. Here, let me look up the description of Black Adder. Black Adder. It's a here. Blackadder is a pseudo historical British sitcom. It was written by Richard Curtis, and Rowan Atkinson, who we've just mentioned.
Right.
And it's the premise. Although each of the series is set in a different era, they all follow the misfortunes of Edmund Blackadder, played by Atkinson, who is a member of the British family dynasty present at many significant periods in British history. So it's a historical thing where
he plays a different character from a different era
on every
episode,
on each series, which in American is a season, and it's just mocking British history basically.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Well,
I'd love to see that.
It's I've seen a little bit of it, and it hasn't aged incredibly well, but you know,
none of us do actually.
Well, that is true. That is true.
So tonight we go see the Joker.
Yes,
much anticipated, and I'm going to convince the women to stop at the Old Dog afterwards to hear the CD debut of a trio that's playing there tonight. Damn it, I can't remember the name of it. You could see it if you wanted to Google it. But this trio is releasing their CD. It's a great place to stop and have a beer. I was there earlier, previous to the podcast, as the anticipation for Happy Hour.
Very nice. Yes,
coming our way, and that, in fact, to salute to the Old Dog, is where my happy hour began this evening. Let me tell you a story.
No, so this is a podcast. There's no stories.
I go on this bar.
Okay, fine.
And there's like 3 people in there. It looks like I only got 2 bands coming up. And I go to the bar. There's hardly anybody there at all. and I order a fat tire, and he brings me a fat tire, and I have a $5 bill in my hand. And he says thanks, and he goes to cash register, and I said, how much is it? And he says $4, happy hour, and which would give him $1 tip, and I throw another $1 on the table, and then he comes back. He comes back with my $5 bill, and he says, sorry, man. And I got the beer in front of me now, and I haven't touched it because it just came back. And he says, sorry, man, it's not happy hour yet. It's $5.50 instead of $4. And I looked at him and I said, well, when does happy hour start? And he said, 4 o'clock. And I looked at the clock and it was 6 minutes away.
Oh, fuck.
And
what if I don't touch the beer for 6 minutes?
I said, of course, well, here's the deal, bro. I'm not going to touch this beer for 6 minutes. So, you go ahead and, whatever. And he looks at me and he says, well, it's just not happy hour yet. And I said,
not with your vibe, man.
I said, do you have to punch in some type of time clock with my money? And I said, listen, here's another $1. And he goes, this is what he does. He says, hey, man. He says, hey, man, I'm not trying to argue with you. Jesus Christ. And he takes the money off the bar, $5 bill and a $1 bill, and he throws it at the cash register, and he storms out to the kitchen or whatever.
Right.
And it made me laugh. And he's got a $5 bill that flew behind the cash register, and another $1 bill floated down and landed in a case of beer bottles down at the bottom. And of course he's got to come back.
What a temper!
He's tending the bar, and he comes back, and he comes, he's right there. And I said, well, that was rather dramatic. And he looks at me, says, that's me, man. I'm just hot-tempered. I just live for the moment. And then he disappeared back in the kitchen again. And I said, hey, man, don't forget your $1 tip. It's on the floor over here.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I guess I sparked something, in him.
Yeah. It's not really black and white, though, that issue. Because if somebody starts coming in every day at a quarter to happy hour and orders and expects the happy hour prices and maybe over tips a little bit, at what point is it?
It wasn't my decision. I gave him.
It's not your decision. It was his decision.
I gave him.
But
I gave him $6. Right.
Right.
I gave him $6, and he could either get a 50-cent tip, or he could get a $1.50 tip. I didn't care. But that's all I was going to pay for the beer. And of course, what he did was, after his little acting out, and he had a curly mustache, like a old style mustache and a big furry beard. So he was kind of an eccentric looking dude to begin with.
I think we call those hipsters now.
We call them what?
Hipsters.
Oh yeah, man. He had a.
Did he have a flannel shirt on?
Huh. Whoa.
Just saying.
You knew that.
Maybe a little beanie, like you've got on.
No beanie. Okay. But the red
flannel
logger shirt.
Yeah. That's a lumberjack look.
A curly Q lumberjack look.
Yes, that's a common thing. It has been for a couple of years now. Don't tell him though.
Well, no, I don't want to interact with him. When he wadded up this money and he threw it at the cash register, and he says loud enough for like all of the customers to hear. He says, "I'm not trying to get in an argument with you, man. Jesus fucking Christ!" He throws the money at the bar. It's like there's like two other people at the bar, and I look at them and they look at me and we look at him, and it's like, whoa, come back, man. It's all cool.
Well, maybe I don't know. You got to be careful with those lumberjack types. They might have like an axe behind the bar or something.
Oh no! Are you kidding? I'm quick like fucking gazelle, man.
Well, you know what he has.
They pick up an axe. I'm not only away from the bar. I'm out of the bar and down the railroad track.
Yeah,
as far as right on the railroad track.
What he clearly has is an axe to grind.
Let's hope that he hasn't grinded it too much. Of course, what would be worse than getting your head chopped off is getting your head nearly chopped off with a dull axe.
Indeed.
That would be worse.
Yes, the guillotine needs to be well oiled.
The guillotine.
Oh, sorry. Let me have another sip of my vin rouge. The guillotine needs to be well oiled.
So speaking of rouge, I recently, since we've spoken,
I must say that your makeup looks lovely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Rose, call me Rose for the rest of the show, please.
Okay. I'll be Jack.
But I saw different portions of Moulin Rouge with Ewan McGregor.
Yes.
And
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman, and it is delicious.
I've not seen
they
that.
do with their voices. I've seen it half a dozen times, and I've seen snippets of it 15, 20 times. It's one of those things that when I'm doing some channel surfing and I see it, I will always turn it on and watch a bit of it because it is just wonderful. And what they do with music, speaking of Elton John, his music plays quite a role in the score of the music, particularly in some of the highlights when they're falling in love.
Indeed.
No particular spoiler here, but Elton John's songs play an enormous role, and their voices, both individually and particularly in Ewan McGregor's, who has a fantastic singing voice, fantastic, and his jubilant dedication to the tune, and he was having the time of his life as he sang these songs in just such a robust voice. So I know it's making you yawn as we speak.
This is lovely.
Thank God.
To hear that Obi-Wan can...
listeners can't see. It's such a distraction. I'm telling what I think is an interesting story, and you're yawning. You're short of looking at your wristwatch. So, like, is this ever going to end? And it's like, what? Are we in a hurry?
We need to get this published to the people.
Huh?
You know?
Huh?
No, I mean, we mentioned Trainspotting before, which also starred, I think you say his name, Ewan?
Ewan.
Ewan?
Ewan.
Ewan?
Ewan. Ewan.
It's not
Ewan McGregor.
It's not Ewan?
Ewan. Buttigieg. So I looked him up today, and it's capital B-O-O-T, Boot, and then small case, I-H, small case, Boot, small case, I-H, Boot, and then small case, J-I-J, Buttigieg.
It's not Booty.
No.
Booty Judge.
Which, of course, you would think about immediately.
Well, I mean, already our president is what we would call a booty judge. So
it's pretty funny. That's almost clever.
It never occurred to me before.
Well, a booty judge. Very good.
I mean, he used to just wander into the beauty pageant locker rooms.
Right. Well, we have imagery this evening. And I think that imagery is our parting note. We're off to see the Joker. Much anticipated.
I've heard there aren't many jokes. Just want to.
Huh?
I heard there aren't many jokes. Don't be confused by the title. It's not that funny of a movie. I've heard. You might think it's going to be all about jokes, but I don't think it is.
I've seen trailers. I know what I'm looking for. I was told by people who saw it, don't see it on Saturday because you need at least 2 days to recover, and you don't want to be a bummer at work on Monday.
Wow.
So there are beers in our future. That, my friend, adios, amigo.
If you've enjoyed what you just heard, you can support us by telling a friend or sharing us on social media. Monthly donations to help us pay for hosting and editing can be provided at patreon.com/happyhour. That's all one word, happy hour. All our episodes, including show notes for each episode, are available on our website, happyhour.fm. You can tweet at us at happyhour.fm, that's with a dot spelled out, happyhour.dotfm, or we can receive email at the same name, happyhourdotfm@gmail.com. It would also be great if you could give us a positive rating on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. That really helps other people find us. See you next week.